You know, you discover your children little by little. They grow there, so they sucked all the factory was their playground, and machinery and colors and felt pens, wasn't it like that? So it's
Absolutely. But I think I think I've been a surprise for my parents, because I was undercover till my 25, 26. They did never expected me to be creative in the sense of, because I never exposed myself, I think, in my youth, right? I was kind of introverted and never, so I remember the first time I did some shoes for Margherita. She was little. She saw the shoes. Oh, nice shoes. And I said, I make it. And she looked at me and said, you make them? I said, yes. I thought, you know, those are...
No. Questa è un'idea che ti sei fatta tu.
Okay, this is the idea I made. No, but you didn't expect me to be... I think I didn't even expect myself, probably, to be in that position today. I always said, poor Margherita, she's not only having a mother, she's having a grandmother and a grandfather.
But it helps. Grandmother prepares parties for her
I
birthdays.
think the advantages are more than the disadvantages. Well, like when you grow up being surrounded by so many stimulating and interesting people and things, it just makes you a more creative and curious person. So for me, obviously, you don't look at your family members thinking they're icons. You know, it's easy to give names to things when there's a distance. But when everything is so close, you don't realize how lucky you are that, you know, you're going to school with a Vivian Westwood crown hat when you're 7, and Anna Piaggi buys you clothes in the flea market and you wear them. But for me, it's more a joy than a burden, getting dressed and having to get dressed in an interesting way. For me, it's a pleasure to open my wardrobe in the morning and having to think, oh, what am I going to wear today, you know?
I think that today you cannot define fashion through age and people dressing through age. It's very different than one time. But what I like is really that in the same collection, she can feel contemporary and modern, and she can feel contemporary and modern, and my girlfriend too, and my friends too, and my boys too. But which is, they don't dress the same way, but you can find those pieces in the Missoni collection.
But also, like someone told me, the final customer is getting younger and younger for luxury brands. I don't think that's necessarily true, but it is true that in our society, people want to look younger and younger. So even older people will want to get what you would design for younger people. So it kind of like blends in a way and
yeah,
evens
but also
out.
I think it's like the first time in history where I call my mom and his girlfriend, they're girls of nearly 80 and girls of you see girls of which is, it's the spirit. You live the same life, we share the same stories, we go and see the same movies, we spend the same holiday in the same way, so it's really very different from one time. Yeah, it's like a language. So you have a vocabulary, you have certain codes, but the vocabulary has to evolve. Otherwise, it becomes a dead language, right? So, and luckily, there are many codes that you can mix together, and you can, which is color, comfort, and shapes, and pattern, graphism, and you can work on that and always make it new and fresh and make it evolve.
I think we share common taste and aesthetic, but we all have different styles due to the historical moment we grew up. Like, I was growing up watching the mangas, you know, and they obviously did not watch Japanese cartoons growing up. So that's like something that I would add. She like so different things than she did, but the base of it is that
I was there with Donna Summer.
yeah, exactly. She had platforms, and she never had platforms. So
Oh yes, I had the first Fiorucci platform.
You introduced
at 14. Yeah.
I realize every now and then I realize how much of what I know in different ways, also on the style side, but in many aspects of my life, I actually got from her and learned from her. Things that you wouldn't, you know at the moment when you're actually learning them, but then at one point you realize that they came straight from her. A lot of my aesthetic and I remember the day I learned about proportions. Like, you know, I always knew about colors and prints and what I liked and didn't go together, but I didn't get proportions until one day where I was like, oh, I see what they mean when they talk about proportions, you know? Yeah. So, on a daily basis, you learn things, and then one day they hit you.
And for me, I think, well, of course, she's my mother, so if that's what she passed to her, automatically she passed it to me too. But most of it, I think, what I'm really happy that we have she passed through the DNA or in the heritage is the passion, really. And I think that this you can see growing also in Margherita and my children,
things, I mean.
and the curiosity for life.
Yeah, for sure.
And also a way of living that you are always trying to find harmony in life, in your job, in your work, in the collection you're making, and to live always to make a better quality of life for everybody who surrounds you.
For me, it was a great thing to realize how Angela, when I left and she was staying all day long in the factory talking to the people which have known her since she was a child, and
I was very lazy. I was considered very lazy.
But the relation she has with the people in the factory, which has always been the way I used to do, and she is even more. She is even more friendly and familiar, and so they're pleased to please her. They are working at night time. They come back on Sundays when the collection has to be ready, and you see that there is this kind of weaving an harmony and. Which is absolutely important, is the base of many results also. And people work with pleasure with her like they used to do with me. Oh yes, why not?
You know, I walked into the elevator this morning and my mother was looking at my image in the mirror. I'm like, what? She's like, did you know the title of this conference is International Herald Tribune Luxury Conference? I was wearing denim.
No, but you said it with that tone.
No, it was not. It was like sweet, but we are critical of each other, of course.